Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by RFA Featherweight Champion Jared Downing. Jared, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Jared, you had a fight back in November at RFA 5 against Jordan Rinaldi. You won the fight by unanimous decision. How did you feel about your performance in the fight?
I was pretty happy with my ground game and my takedowns, but with my stand-up, I think his range gave me a little bit of problems, and I wasn't too happy with my stand-up. But I'm happy with the win, though.
He threw up a lot of submission attempts at you. You were able to escape all of them. Were any of those submissions close at all?
No, one thing that I do in practice is I bait submissions to try to pass guard in. I have a lot of really good guys at JIT, and they put me through a lot of tight and close submissions. So I feel pretty comfortable there.
Just curious, going into that fight, what was the game plan?
My game plan was to finish him in the first or second round, but obviously that wouldn't happen.
Well, with that win, you became the RFA Featherweight Champion, the first ever Featherweight Champion, and actually the first champion ever of that organization, regardless of the weight class. How good does it feel to be the first, the George Washington, so to say, of the RFA?
It feels pretty good, actually, because I know that RFA is going to have a long road ahead of them, and to be known as the first ever is a pretty good accomplishment, and also it's the title, you know?
Does it make the title a little bit more special that you were able to work your way up towards the title? That was your third fight for RFA, and you've been with them since the start of the organization. Did it make the title feel a little bit more special that you were able to work your way up towards it?
Yes, and I'm glad that they gave me hard opponents to where I earned it, and they knew I earned it, so that did make it way better for me, yes.
Just curious, they unveiled a new championship belt. It's not the one that they wrapped around your waist after the fight. Did they ship the new belt to you?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely here.
And did you...
it's sitting in my gym right now.
And did you have to give back the one that they gave you after the fight, or did they let you keep that one as well?
I didn't keep that one here, so...
I see. And now, did you have a 3-fight deal with RFA, and that was the last one, or do you have more fights left, or are you just renegotiating right now with them?
That was my first fight under contract with them, and so I had a 3-fight with them, and in less UFC calls. So.
Oh, I see. And have they told you anything about when your first title defense will be?
No, they haven't really told me when it was. They gave me a name, but I'm not sure if I can say yet. But it's going to be a fun matchup.
You said that unless the UFC calls, you're going to be with RFA. So you're exclusive with them? You can't take a fight somewhere else? Or is it maybe just exclusive in the United States, and if there's an opportunity overseas, you could go there? You know, what exactly, without, getting in too much detail to your contract, what's available to you?
I think the only thing that is available to me right now is RFA and the UFC. I'm not allowed to fight for any other organization anywhere. I had an offer in Japan, but that didn't work out with RFA.
And just curious, is there anyone on your radar right now that you would like to fight?
I'm not really a fan of sport, so I don't really know names. I just love fighting, so I'm not sure who would give me the recommendation, but I'm pretty sure RFA is going to do a good job on getting me tough opponents to get me to where I need to be.
Oh, I see. Jared, your only loss in MMA is against Roberto Vargas back in 2011. You fought him in shark fights. You lost a split decision. What did you learn from that loss?
I learned that no matter what in every fight, I should never decide to go all the rounds. During that fight, I thought I was winning, so I kind of accepted I was going to win a decision. So I learned to never think that way, and always go for a finish.
That loss was your first loss ever, regardless pro or amateur. Did you kind of ever have that in your mind? Maybe, one of these days I will lose a fight? Did that ever enter your mind, or did you just go out there not worrying about winning or losing, just going out there and worrying about the fight?
I always thought that one day I might lose. I wasn't really worried about when it would be because the only thing that keeps me going and thinking about wins is the money. But when I lose, I know I'm gonna go out there and fight. So
now you've had 10 fights. You're 9-1 as a professional. Now that you can just sit back, you're 10 fights into this, sitting back, looking at it now, what are some things that you've improved on from when you started till now, and what are some things, looking back on it now, that there's some stuff that you still need to work on? Anything in there?
Oh, man, I used to be a wrestler, and that was it, but now I think I have made myself more well-rounded. I have grown up a lot, mentally and physically. But I know I still have a lot to improve. My striking needs a lot of improvement. And, hey, my ground game can always improve, too. So I'm never done growing.
You mentioned going into the Rinaldi fight, your game plan was to finish him in the first or second round. You didn't get that finish. Just looking at your record, of your 9 wins, 7 have gone to decision. You're not a boring fighter by any means. I think you're an exciting fighter. What has been the problem with getting stoppages? Is it just that the fighters that you've faced are just very tough and hard to finish, or has it been maybe something on your end where you haven't been able to go for the kill when it's presented to you? What has led to all these decisions, do you think?
One thing that I've always been the underdog. So, yeah, I think that one thing is I've always fought tough opponents with every fight. But I think it also has to do on my part also during the fight. If I feel that I can go a finish, then I will go for a wrestling match and I'll go to the end for the fight. But it's always on me and the opponent.
Just curious, you're 2-0 under the Bellator banner. Why haven't we seen you fight for them? Is it just because you had this deal with RFA and you decided to sign there, or was it something that happened with Bellator and they didn't want you back? What exactly happened with them?
I think at Bellator, they like people who do finishes. That's the only thing I can think of. They just never called back, so I wanted to, at the time, fight for them, but I'm happy with where I'm at now with RFA.
And speaking of RFA, the organization, you've been with them since the beginning. How are they treating you, and what's it like to fight for RFA?
Me and my coach, Kieran Coke, and a few other people who have went to RFA with me, we all agree it's one of the best ran promotions, and we've been through like UFC, we've been to all types of promotions backstage and see how they ran. And RFA, they know what they're doing, and they cater to the fighters, it seems.
2012, a good year for you, 2-0 with the title. It's got to be an A+ grade you give yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with it, but I'm definitely hungry, and I can't wait for 2013 to give me a lot more.
Speaking of 2013, what are some of your goals for this upcoming year?
To defend my title once or twice, and then go to the UFC and make a name for myself there. I want the best title that everybody knows, so UFC right now is like that.
A lot of the featherweight and a lot of the bantamweight fighters that I talk to that are in the similar situation that you're in, a good win streak going, on the cusp of being in the UFC, but right now still working on the regional circuit, have all told me that the reason why they're not in the UFC is because of a numbers game. Right now, Sean Shelby's overrun with featherweights and bantamweights, and they've got to kind of get everything in order. Is that what they've been telling you or your management, that right now that's the reason they're keeping you out, is because they've got so many guys already under contract?
Yeah, that could be definitely true, and I hope, like I said, I don't really pay attention too much right now. I'm kind of managing myself at the time, so
I see.
That could be true for sure. It makes sense, I guess.
I see. Jared, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you would like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yes, I would. I would like to thank Hard Drive and Ken at the Anvil. They've always been there to support me. They made me who I am. Also, Gary out in Galena Tattoos. Thank you for all the tattoos and for the fans. Hope you guys watch the next performance, and hopefully I'll give you the finish I want to give you.
Jared, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.